Cleveland. He couldn't take the realness. He's in shock. Cheers to all of you guys in the chat. Oh, he's gone. Welcome to the DJ Angelo show. Today's guest, Cleveland Terry. Where's he gone?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce the man of the hour. As I said before, this man has been a pillar in the DJ community. Put your hands together for Mr. DJ Angelo.
Thanks for tracking me down. Thanks for being persistent as well. I can be a little slippery, I know.
Let's take it back. Let's take it back to the start.
I started DJing in 1996 with a very humble setup. And when I say humble, I mean I built my first turntables.
That's insane.
This is what makes me laugh when I get contacted by new DJs asking me what setup they should buy. I'm like, man, whatever you can get your hands on and make that work.
Literally whatever you can get your hands on.
And it just so happens that I have one of these to show you.
I gotta see this.
This, my friends, was my first turntable. It's only a 10-inch platter. It's belt driven. That's the pitch control right there. Really, really small. And here's the thing. I took this out of the box and this was on the other side.
Oh my God.
So what I had bought, thinking they were turntables, was just a replacement part for a coffin set.
You bought a motherboard.
Yeah, exactly, man. I bought these thinking, yeah, I've got 2 turntables for $50. I'm ready to go. And me being someone who's not one to give up easily, I took my brother's soldering iron and I soldered a mains cable and an RCA cable. Got myself a Radio Shack secondhand mixer. That's what I started with. And I knew my parents wouldn't support it or pay for anything, but I made that work. I had a natural ear for rhythm and I learned how to beat match like almost instantly. I bought my first World DMC VHS tape and it was the 95 World Final. I had no idea about turntablism. I had no idea that there was competitions for this stuff. I was just blown away at what was being done on just 2 turntables, a mixer and vinyl. And that's when I made the connection that I wasn't satisfied with just playing records. I wanted to talk with the music more. I wanted to have a closer relationship and shape how it sounded with my hands. I found that really empowering. From then, I kind of switched from playing trance. Believe it or not, I started with trance.
Trance.
I also didn't grow up in London or any major city, so my only knowledge of DJs back then was electronic DJs. I used to buy cassette packs from all the big clubs in the UK at that time, and they were all just dance music DJs. Even though I knew what hip hop was, we grew up a lot differently in the UK. We had like rave culture and drum and bass and happy hardcore and stuff, but a lot of years of learning this craft went on before you guys even saw me on YouTube.
Sure.
I had like 2 previous careers before DJing.
Really?
I was in the corporate world first of all. I graduated in media technology, so I was always into like film and audio, but for some reason I took the first job that I got offered when I got out of uni for an internet bank. The whole time I was a DJ, I was a bedroom DJ, I was doing occasional gigs. I never had real ambitions to be full-time at DJing because England's a tough place to make it as a professional career DJ. I eventually walked out of that job and fell into a teaching career, traveling all around the UK with my decks in the car, setting up in youth clubs in like rough towns and teaching in prisons. Because at that time, the government was putting a lot of money into the arts. I wrote an accredited course so that kids could study turntablism and then get into college. So I was like fully involved as like a community musician. And then that led to me taking a step back from DJing because I started to run projects and I wasn't DJing at all anymore. And that's when I realized I've gone off track. Walking away from that, I lost a huge income and I was struggling. I was a broke artist for a while, but I decided that's it. It's now or never. Let's see if I can make this DJing work. So during that time where I didn't have much work, I discovered YouTube and I thought to myself, I have all this time on my hands. There's not a lot of DJ content on YouTube. This was 2008. Right. The only DJ videos I remember at that time was Elliskins, who was the original DJ tutor. Some early tractor videos. Kubert's videos were on there, of course, but I was thinking, I think I could teach this in a different way. I think I have a different approach.
Yeah.
So I had this plan to make these tutorials, and I bought this $50 camcorder from eBay. I suspended it on a curtain pole in my bedroom, and I just shot my first video. The feedback was really good. And then one random day, YouTube had this thing called Music Tuesday. They would highlight videos on the homepage. And one week they highlighted my tutorials. That was it. I was up and running.
Well, here is your turntable tutorial number one.
What's happening, people? It's DJ Angelo, and welcome to my turntable tutorials about your experiences and about turntable.
Look at YouTube.
From your perspective.
Look at YouTube.
Oh, wow.
This is the camera that I used.
Wait, that's the same camera?
That's the camera I shot those tutorials on. Look at that.
Oh, man.
It still works. My first love was video before audio, I would say.
Okay.
You know, I used to play with my dad's camcorder when I was like 9, 10 years old. I have like home movies of little like short films that I made. You know, I always loved visuals. I always loved the art of video. I think people think that it's the quality, it's the camera, it's the lighting, it's all these cosmetic things that make videos popular or viral or whatever. But it's always about what the video does to the viewer. What does it do for the viewer? The value that it brings the viewer. And we have to accept the fact that as DJs, our content isn't for everyone. It's never going to be as popular as maybe makeup tutorials or dancing videos on TikTok or stuff like that. So, you know, we have to just accept the fact that we are niche and just do that niche the best we can. And we'll find our audience.
The hardest part is really discovering your voice, your camera voice, the way you look at a camera and are able to talk to a camera.
Your voice doesn't even have to be your voice. Like, what are you trying to say as a DJ? I haven't made a video talking to camera in a long time. I'd like to think my routines could be understood on different levels. If you're not good at talking, you don't have to talk. We're in a musical art form. We can say all we want through the music. I don't really sway towards the live streaming, which is a whole nother topic. I'm more about make this dope ass video once, put it out, let it work while I get the next one ready. And that's what I'm really into. Like, a lot of people want to see the same thing again and again, but I'm just like excited by new things, being able to DJ in new ways. That excites me. I got better as technology progressed, but because I had really bad gear, it's like resistance, isn't it? You're having to be better than your gear. This is why it's not about the gear. The focus is so much on technology. Let's not lose the art and the creativity. And I'm not saying we shouldn't innovate. I love technology and the possibilities that are being opened up with new DJ technology.
What is your feeling on people learning on controllers versus learning on turntables? And do you think that it's necessary?
I started with turntables because there wasn't any other option. CD players were just coming in. People starting now, the barrier to entry is way lower. You don't need a vinyl collection. You don't need to buy needles, slip mats, separate mixer. So I get it, man. I totally get it. I have no problem with technology influencing DJing, but like I said before, I have a problem with the art form being forgotten. You can be artistic and creative and dope on a controller, on an iPad, anything. You can still show your art and perform creatively with anything. I think a lot of people, like the purists, they get confused with this. Like, they think the art form is dying because no one plays with turntables. That's not it. Turntables was how it started. But who are they to say that that's where DJing has to end? We're happy for innovation in every other industry. We're happy to have smartphones. We're happy to have electric windows in cars. We're happy for M1 MacBooks and PS5s. So why would people assume DJing would stop with analog? DJing itself is an innovation. Turntablism is an innovation from DJing. It's ridiculous to me that we still have this conversation.
Because people will say, the art of DJing is dead. People are just pushing buttons now. Anybody can mix now. Anybody can hit the sync button.
People really busted their ass back in the day to get good at this craft, right? And spent money to build their collections. I did the same thing, but I do not want to go back to playing vinyl sets and touring the world with crates. I give my props to anyone who still does that and who plays on 45s, and I respect that so much. But as much as I love vinyl and turntables, there is a limit to what you can do with vinyl. I can still play how I like with digital. That's the thing. The art is still there. And now I'm able to do more with the music. People may argue that it was never meant to go that way. You were always meant to do it the hard way. But why? Do you still want to wind a window down in your car by hand? Like
rotary phone. Hold
do you
on,
know what I'm saying?
Speaking of vinyl, I want to bring something up real quick because I know people really did love this about you.
Oh, gee.
Number one DJ.
Not me.
In that moment, I really meant those words. I was like, God damn it, I'm really not the number one DJ right now.
I don't think I've ever seen anything where you've made mistakes. So being able to see that part of you where it's like, I am a human being and these things happen. He really humanized you. I think it was important.
What you see in these finished products, it's a long process sometimes. I don't get it right first time. It happens occasionally. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I nail a routine first time.
Speaking of perfection, we'll take a look at that real quick.
One take.
You showed the features of what he could do.
That's my job, and when it's a product video, it's not about me, but if I do this right, I can make the product shine and myself shine. That's how I've always approached product demo videos. So everyone wins. Some routines come easy, some routines take a lot of beating my head against the wall.
One person asked a very good question, and they asked, why have you never done like Red Bull, DMC, or any of that stuff?
There it is. That's the question I was expecting. I have battled. I have won battles. I have lost battles. I've reached a point where I was no longer interested in being measured up against somebody else because I'm not trying to be like any other DJ. People watch my videos and say, yeah, but you can't scratch like Cuban or Jazzy Jeff's better. It's a shame we have that mentality. It's okay for us all to be different and not be compared. By not battling, I'm trying to set the example of just standing on my own. And this is what DJ Angelo does and is. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I watch these battles and I think, I could do some damage. I could really do some damage in this. But it feels like it's going against my nature. And I'm just trying to be the best I can be.
Yeah, you can be the best, but you can also be the best over here, or you can be the best over here. Like, there's so many avenues that you can kind of take.
And if they don't exist, you can create them. I still believe, Cleveland, it's frozen. Cleveland. Man couldn't take the realness. He couldn't take the realness. He's in shock. Cheers to all of you guys in the chat showing love. Oh, he's gone. All right. Welcome to the DJ Angelo show. Today's guest, Cleveland Terry. He's in the green room right now, just waiting to bring him on. Where's he gone? You guys in the chat, talk to me. Where you all from? Do we have any Europeans? Oh, he's back.
I'm back.
I was just talking about you. DJing is still relatively young as an industry. If you think about like career DJing, it's not that old. The point I'm making is there's a lot of uncharted territory. That's something I'm really curious about. We're not all going to be playing in clubs, and definitely not forever. That's most people's bread and butter, and I get that. But where else can we take this? Where else can we exist? That's the question I have for all of you guys. I mean, hell, I jumped out of a plane and scratched an iPad in the air.
Haven't seen that.
Oh man, I risked my life for this video for algorithm. I thought I was onto a viral, man, but it didn't turn out that way. That's the dumbest thing. It was my idea. I pitched the idea to algorithm. They funded it. I flew to Spain and I did 2 jumps back to back. I had one as a backup, and I'm glad I did, because the first jump, the GoPro on my chest was pointing the wrong way, so it didn't capture any of the iPad. So I had to go again. Anyway, it's not that good, I'll admit. It didn't turn out that great because I only had one shot.
That's crazy, though.
You are literally playing some of my worst videos today. I like talking about gear to some extent, but I reach a point where I'm done with talking shop, and I love answering questions that are a little deeper than just gear and techniques.
I love talking to DJs, and I wouldn't be where I am if I weren't talking about DJ-related stuff. But we cannot operate in a bubble.
A scene or a culture that is completely insular, that's unhealthy.
Yeah.
If it's just us guys sharing videos with each other and patting each other on the back with no fresh eyes and no
Perspective.
no fresh,
Uh-huh.
that's not going to help us grow. That's not communicating to an audience, which is what DJs are supposed to do.
Yeah, we
Our
are definitely
audience
in a bubble.
Is
you're
them.
right.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be real with you guys. I've been DJing 25 years. Don't let the baby face fool you. There's a lot of things I love about the culture still. There's a lot of things I hate about the culture. And I'm trying to improve things in every sense, not just skill and technique and art, but also how we are with each other. And when we're bickering amongst ourselves in comment sections over gear and what's real, it embarrasses me. It embarrasses me, honestly. If you're one of those people, get it together, because I don't think other musicians do this. I don't think you got people on a piano forum saying, oh, he's cheating by playing the F sharp major chord instead of you know what I'm saying? Like, grown ass people shouldn't be talking like it's high school and pushing opinions on each other. And no other DJ should be trying to tell another DJ what to do. That's just the lamest thing ever. Let people DJ how they want to DJ. That's so minor in the grand scheme of what we should be trying to achieve and focus on. Trying to legitimize this art form and profession. Like, leave that high school stuff back in high school. This is coming from someone who's been on YouTube since 2008. I've seen and read it all. It doesn't bother me anymore what dumb comments I see, but I know it bothers a lot of people. Don't let people steer you off track of what you want to do and what you're about, because that's how we all end up falling in line and being the same, and originality dies.
Yeah, agreed.
Just my 2 cents, man. I don't want to get all heavy up in here.
No, it's cool.
You got to set the example you want to see, and we need more positivity. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
Fair enough.
The world needs more positivity, man. Period.
That is for damn sure. I know you are a very private individual, but what are you doing when you're not on YouTube or doing reloop videos? I mean, what do we do with
Wouldn't you
ourselves?
like to know, Cleveland Terry? Normal stuff. I'm a regular dude, you know. I have social life. I have a love life. I have a great family. I watch movies. I play video games. I eat delicious food. I live and breathe DJing, but I don't only do that. As I mentioned, I'm really into film and video, and I find a lot of parallels with acting and DJing. They're both in the entertainment industry. They're both very saturated markets. There's only so many parts available. It's a little similar to DJing, how you can have leading men and leading women who get the big parts and the big gigs, but then there's still a need for supporting actors and supporting DJs. That you don't have to be a leading man or a leading woman to have a career in this. So I draw a lot of inspiration outside of DJing. You got to get that balance right, because you sometimes need to see other DJ content, but if you see too much, you're distracted. All the people who ask me how I create routines, where I get my ideas from, I get ideas by isolating myself and pulling them out of me, and not from what I'm seeing other people do. I did a recent live stream with Digital DJ Tips where I said ideas are more important than skills. Honestly, man, like with me, I don't spend that much time just beating away at scratching. I work on ideas and then I figure out, okay, what do I need to do that idea? Can I do that yet? If not, I need to learn how to do that, you know. And some of those things have been finger drumming. Some of those things have been tone playing and 3-click flares and whatever. You know, I've learned the skills I've needed to execute the ideas. So the ideas are number one for me.
How can a beginner make or build scratch combos?
You have various different tempos of doing each scratch technique. You have various different techniques, and it's just a case of slotting them together, but also being aware of where your fader is for each technique. So you can't always do every technique after every technique. Scratching is not just about filling space. It's like rhythmic, it's patterns, it's syncopation, you know. Listen to a lot of rappers who have great flows, real lyricists who ride beats. The scratch is supposed to be an instrument like any other instrument over music. That's what you're aiming to get to. But at the start, of course, you need to learn the techniques. You need to figure out what sounds good together, what works for you, what sounds good to you. Good DJs know how to complement music. That is a skill in itself, having a good ear, that you have enough music stored in your brain. When you hear something, you think, I have something that might work with that. That comes from listening to a lot of music. That comes from collecting music. That comes from memorizing lyrics and melodies and all kinds of things. And that is all part of this job as a DJ. We're all music nerds. And with a routine, you get the chance to zone in and make something of your own from scratch, pardon the pun.
How important is integrity versus making that dollar?
There are plenty of DJs who are okay with playing music they don't like, and they make a good living doing that, and they can go to sleep at night and it doesn't bother them. But if you're one of those DJs who is trying to do your thing, you have to find the balance, right? There's no point starving to death because you're trying to keep it real. There's no real money in the underground. So I believe there has to be some level of balance between paying the bills and doing you. Know what your threshold is and don't cross it. Very, very few people get to do 100% what they like all the time. But you can you can aim for that. You can work towards that.
Do you still have set goals, and what are they?
I'm trying to make more content that hasn't been done before in the DJ space. I'm really into combining my love of film and video and visual storytelling with DJing. Who knows, maybe documentaries or short films. It's no surprise when you see artists who can sing and act and direct movies, because when you're creative, you can put that creativity into different areas, and I'm definitely multifaceted to some degree. DJing alone isn't enough to satisfy me, and I'm not really trying to be everywhere or play everywhere or hang with everyone, because I'm kind of into a lot of different things, and a lot of the videos I put out are things I want to see exist. So I'm trying to make stuff that makes me a fan of myself.
Oh, and somebody asked, were you ever planning on streaming?
I reserved my account on Twitch, and I guess I didn't want to force anything. I wanted to let 2020 take me where it was supposed to, and I also took that as a huge break, because since 2011 I toured all over the world, and the anxieties that you get with touring, being tour ready and knowing what to play in each country and each city, anxieties of flights and, all of that stuff. Touring is amazing, but it comes with a lot of pressures that people don't always realize, behind the glamour of it all. But I took 2020 as a huge break for that. And I'm not in a rush to tour again, but I'll definitely be back to that at some point.
So, Angelo, hey man, first off, I do want to say thank you for coming on today. It's been amazing. Thank
you guys for tuning in. It means a lot. Stay tuned, man. I've got loads planned. So
we will be watching. All right, buddy. We're gonna let you go. Thank you so much for hanging on today. Appreciate you. We'll talk soon, man. DJ Angelo, everybody.